Right. I just want to say welcome, everyone. I'm so glad that you are here. I know that you could be anywhere right now and you chose to be here, and that matters. Because here's the truth. The moment that we step into a space like this, something happens. There's part of us that's excited. I'm here. I'm ready. Let's do this. And at the same time, there's a part of us that's scanning the room, wondering if we're in the right place, wondering if it's safe, if you can really let your guards down. And that is perfectly normal. Every single one of us has that. It's built in, it's part of our survival mechanism. So, right now, I want you to do something really simple but powerful. If you're able, keep your camera on, locate the comments or the chat, make the intention of being fully present, participating. Here's why. When you can see other people's faces, your nervous system relaxes. You know that you're not alone, there's other humans, you're not wondering if you're in the wrong place. And that small shift from alone to together makes all the difference in the work that we're about to do together. So if you can, turn your camera on. If not, just pop a quick emoji in the chat or the comments and let me know where you are right now, where you're calling from, where you're watching from, and that you're here, fully present. However you show up, your presence matters. So before we dive into anything, let's just land together. Wherever you are right now, just notice your body and space. Notice your seat holding you on the chair, if you're seated, and just notice the floor underneath your feet. And take a deep breath in. Doesn't have to be a big one. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just the in breath and the out breath. Now remember, in a space like this, it's perfectly normal for your protectors to rush in. You might feel an urge to hide, to distract, to listen to something else, to read your mail or messages. Maybe your legs are bouncing. Maybe you're scrolling on your phone. Whatever it is, it's not random, just notice. That's your nervous system saying, let me test if this space is safe. Think of it this way. If you were walking into a new forest, your senses would go wide open. You'd listen for branches snapping, you'd scan the trees, you'd feel for safety before you would relax. Your body does the same thing here. It sends out scouts, and those scouts are what we call protectors. Think of protectors like loyal guard dogs. They bark at anything new, not because the neighbor is dangerous, but because they want to keep you safe. And what happens when you pat that guard dog on the head and say, "Good dog, I see you"? They calm down. And that's what we're doing with our scouts. Just like guard dogs, they're not bad, they're not wrong, they're doing their job. They're trying to help you. The only problem is the protectors are like having one foot inside the room and one foot still at the door. They keep you safe from risk, but they also keep you from being fully present, from actually arriving into the space, into the experience where change can happen. So right now, I just want you to notice what's your version of the scout. Do you go quiet? Do you try to distract yourself? Do you get fidgety? Maybe do you get more apologetic or jokey? And instead of trying to get rid of it, just let it be there. The scout is allowed to be here. It only calms down when it knows that you are paying attention. So let's give it attention. Just take one more breath. Notice your seat again. Notice your feet on the floor again. And if your scout is still active, that's fine. You don't have to push it away. Just thank it for trying to protect you and let it ride along while we keep moving forward. That's what safety feels like. Not the absence of protectors, but the ability to notice them and stay anyway. Now let's land together. Again, I want you to feel your feet on the ground and notice the chair holding you. And don't try to breathe the perfect yoga breath. Just notice the one that your body is already giving you. And if you notice your leg is bouncing, you're fidgety, your mind is racing, it's not wrong. That's your system. It's your version of your scout. So just notice what your scout is doing right now. Just name it. Don't try to push it away. Just name what is happening. Notice. Think of it like this. Imagine that you're walking into that forest again. What do you do? Exactly the same thing happening here. It's new. It makes sense to check if you're safe. So instead of fighting that, just notice it. Maybe your scout looks like politeness, looks like hiding, looks like playing it safe. And whatever it is, just let it ride along with us. Take another deep breath. Notice your seat again. Notice your feet. You're here. We're here. And you don't have to be anywhere else. You know, scriptures actually name what we're practicing here. Now, I know not everyone has or believes scripture to be true or sees it the same way, and that's okay. I want to share verses not to convince you, but to point out how they echo a truth that shows up everywhere. That stillness restores us. So whether you receive this as faith, wisdom, or poetry, let it land in the way that it serves you best. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Notice that it doesn't say, "Work harder and then you'll know." It doesn't say, "Prove yourself and then you'll know." It says, "Be still." So right now, let's breathe that in. As you inhale, just say quietly in your mind, "Be still." And as you exhale, and know. That's what we're doing right now. Letting our protectors settle, noticing the scouts that want to keep us safe, and remembering that we're already upheld. Isaiah 41:10 reminds us, "Do not fear, for I am with you. I will strengthen you. I will uphold you." And that's the field we're creating here. Safety isn't the absence of fear. It's trusting that despite the fear, that you are safe. It's the presence of God or higher guidance. whatever makes you more comfortable with us, even in the middle of it. Interestingly, scriptures tell us not to be afraid over 100 times. Why? Because fear is part of being human. It shows up frequently, and God knew we would need a lot of reminders that we're not alone in it. And I point this out to remind you that you're not alone in it here. All your emotions are welcome. Come as you are. Here's something that most people don't realize. Awareness is a lever. You don't need to fix the scout. You don't need to push away the thought, the fidget, the doubt, the moment that brings awareness to it. Everything shifts. So think about it like driving a car. When the check engine light comes on, you don't need to panic. You don't need to fix the engine on the spot. You just need to know that the light is on. That awareness tells you what's happening, and suddenly you have a choice. That's what we're practicing. Noticing what's happening inside without making it wrong so that you have a choice. Because the second that you stop fighting what is there, the energy that was stuck trying to protect or defend starts to move. And that movement, that's what creates change. If you're already feeling a little more grounded than when you walked in, just give me a yes in the chat or the comments, or a nod or a thumbs up. Great. That's real-time awareness. Now, one more thing we need to set before we dive deeper. Intention. I want you to ask yourself a simple but powerful question. Why am I here? Not the polite answer, the real one. Maybe it's because you're tired of doing it all on your own. Maybe it's because you want to finally feel like you can receive instead of always giving. Maybe it's because you know something in your life has to change and you're not going to wait another year to figure it out. Whatever your reason, that's your why. Hold on to it. Because when things get uncomfortable, and they will at some point, that why will pull you through. And here's the beautiful part. You're not carrying that why all alone. You can look around the room at this community. Everyone here has their own why. And when we do this together, your why gets multiplied by theirs. And that's how community works. We amplify each other's field. So here's what you can do to amplify the field right now. Drop in the comments or the chat, or even say it out loud if you feel brave, your why. Why you showed up here today. Why you're giving yourself this space at this time. And don't overthink it. Just one sentence. Keep it simple and real, because something shifts when you put words to your why. It goes from an idea that's in your head to a truth that is in the room. And that truth is powerful. Great. Now, I want you to take that why that you wrote down or spoke out loud, and let's anchor that why right now. Place a hand on your heart and breathe in your why into the center of your heart. Just imagine with your breath being sucked into the center of your heart. Just feel the power of your why. That's the compass that will guide you through the whole workshop. When you pause to breathe in your intention, it creates a bridge between the intellectual or mental and your body felt experience. Great. Let's bring this together. when you show up in a space and you feel like hiding behind the camera, remember that is your scout. Show up. It doesn't matter if you're in your pajamas, your hair is not done. No one really cares. Just show up. And when you do, you give someone else permission to show up too. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even have to feel ready. You just have to be here. And that's enough. All right. Now that we've landed, let's just take the next step forward. Here's the question. What is awareness? Awareness of what? What are we actually trying to be aware of? I want you to be aware of two things. Your essence, the real you beneath all the noise, and your protectors, the parts that step in to guard you. And when you learn how to be with both without trying to fix or change them, that's where everything opens up. Now drop in the chat or the comments, if you had to describe your essence in one word right now, what would it be? Don't overthink this. Just write the first word that pops into your mind. Improv style, just notice what first comes up and trust that's what wants to be expressed right now, even if it doesn't make sense. And just pop it in the chat or the comments. Now, if you're not quite sure what essence is, I want to explain it to you. Imagine that you have a clear glass of water. That's your essence. It's pure, simple, nothing added. Now I want you to imagine that I drop in some food coloring, maybe a little bit of blue and red, green. You start to see swirls. And over time, the water gets cloudy. That's what life does. Parents' expectations, society's rules, all the moments where you had to protect yourself, those are the drops of color. Most people spend their whole life thinking the cloudy water is who they are, but it's not. Beneath all the swirls, the essence, that clear water, is still there. It always has been, and it always will be. And here's the secret. You don't have to purify all the water at once. You just need to know essence is underneath. You can glimpse it anytime you learn to quiet down and notice. Now, the swirls of water, those are your protectors. They're not the enemy. They're the parts that step in when life feels unsafe. For some of you, your protectors look like racing thoughts, overthinking. You lie in bed at 2 in the morning, replaying a conversation in your mind, thinking, if I figure everything out, or if I get this perfect, I'll be okay. For others, it looks like checking out. You scroll through Instagram, social media without even noticing, thinking, if I distract myself, then I don't have to feel this. And for some, it's perfectionism. You edit that email 6 times before sending it, thinking, if I get it right, then no one will misunderstand or hurt me. And for others, it's collapsing, saying, I'm fine, when you're shutting down inside, when you're really not fine, thinking, it's too much. I can't handle this, but I don't want anyone to know. Can you relate to any of these? Type in the chat or the comments, or whisper it under your breath, whatever feels safe right now in the moment. What's the protector that shows up the most for you? What's the voice that's trying to keep you safe? And does anyone relate to all 4? Or is that just me? Yeah. Do you see how none of these are bad? They're strategies. They're very effective ones. They're like little bodyguards who have been working overtime. The problem isn't that they exist. The problem is that we've been letting them run the whole show. Now, let me tell you why this matters. Is it okay if I share my story for those that may not know me yet? Thank you. I didn't grow up knowing about essence and protectors. All I knew was the swirl. And my swirl looked like overthinking everything and the constant hustle of proving myself. I thought if I could just get it all right, no one could reject me. I was born in a world that didn't value women and in a family that devalued them. My father left when I was born, and according to my mom, he left because I was a girl. Now, obviously, I knew that was not true. I could reason that out logically, but inside my body, it felt true. So I tried to fix it, to overcompensate. And the harder I tried to fix it, the louder the shame of being a girl got. I'd blame myself. What's wrong with me that I can't just relax? Or I'd blame others if they would just stop judging me or having such a high expectation of me. But neither of those moved me forward. It just kept me stuck in the swirl. And the crazy thing is that I watched my mom struggle, and it seemed so clear that she didn't have to believe the story. She could move through. She had achieved so much. Who cares what anyone else thinks? And yet I eventually realized I was stuck in the same story. And I pushed myself so hard that I was exhausted. I was angry for no reason. And depression had become a frequent companion. Life had become so hard that I wanted to die. I did a lot of motivation and mindset work. It felt good for a while, but it didn't last. The shift came when, for the first time, someone sat with me without trying to fix me, without telling me to calm down, without making me feel wrong. They just saw me. And they pointed to a story I was repeating to myself, that I was willing to do anything or feel anything to break out of the illusion. Because the truth is, that story kept me from seeing what I was not willing to face: the lack of self-worth. Feeling my emotions always led me down the rabbit hole of unworthiness. And he said, feel even that. Unworthy gets to be felt too, gets to be here too. Unworthy is welcome. That was mind blowing. In that moment, something inside me shifted. I realized the story over the story that was trying to keep me safe, that was keeping me from seeing that I was not allowing myself to feel everything. Because when I would face unworthiness, I said, not this. And that got to be included too. I got to feel that too. It was okay for that to be present and for me to witness and feel that too. Even this. That's when I realized my essence hadn't gone anywhere. It was just there under the swirl of unworthiness. And I couldn't see it until someone helped me remember. And that's why I know this works, because I stumbled into it through my own pain, through witnessing other people stuck in that same pain. I didn't read it in a book, I lived it. And that's what I want for you today. Now, here's something important. When our protectors show up, most of us go straight into blame. We blame others. If they would just stop doing that, I'd finally be okay. Or we blame ourselves. What's wrong with me that I can't just get it all together? But here's the thing about blame. Whether it's pointed outward or inward, it doesn't bring us closer to truth. Blame freezes us. What actually moves us is alignment. Noticing where we're out of sync with our values, our needs, our essence, and gently coming back into alignment. Those emotions are not there to punish us, but to show us a better way forward. And yes, it takes practice because we aren't taught this. We grew up in a world that couldn't always handle our emotions, and it was easier to minimize them than to regulate them. That's why witnessing matters so much, because when someone sees you without the judgment, it takes you out of blame and back into alignment. And it doesn't take a long time to do it. Neuroscience shows that emotions dissolve when they're truly felt in under 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Nothing is permanent, not even those hard emotions that we spend most of our lives running away from. The only reason they persist is because we keep running, suppressing, ignoring, distracting. We've built a habit of it. But what feeling is the key to the freedom that you crave? And that's where co-regulation comes in. Most of us were taught to fix, journal, meditate, distract. If you're sad, cheer up. If you're angry, calm down. If you're anxious, just think positive. But the nervous system doesn't work that way. What actually heals isn't fixing, it's witnessing. Think about a crying baby. If you walk in and say, "Stop crying, it's not that bad," the baby doesn't calm down. If you pick it up and rock it and say, "I'm here, I see you," the nervous system settles. And that's what we're doing here with each other, with ourselves. When someone sits with you in your fear, in your tears, in your collapse, and they don't try to change it, your system learns, oh, I can be safe even here. My experience is okay. That's essence coming back online. That's your capacity expanding. You can witness yourself. It's as simple as noticing the pain, the fear, the doubt, and reflecting back to yourself. I see that you're scared. I see you, and I'm here with you right now. Let's try it now. Think of a strong feeling that you experience often or that you might be in right now, and just feel that feeling. Then reflect back to yourself. I see that, and name the feeling. I see that you feel, name the feeling, and offer reassurance without fixing or correcting, just presence and holding the space. If you feel hurt, I see that you feel hurt. It's okay. I'm here holding you, holding this pain with you right now. You can place a hand over your heart. Sometimes that helps you stay centered and focused on the feeling. It's helpful. Make sure you try it now. Did you try it? Great. Did you feel a difference? Even if just like 5% more spaciousness? Drop a quick yes in the chat or the comments if you felt just a little bit more space or ease. If it felt okay to feel that feeling. If you were able to not make it wrong. Now let's zoom out. You might be wondering why this matters so much. It matters because our nervous systems are designed to co-regulate. Babies literally can't calm themselves down. They borrow their caretaker's nervous system. And here's what we miss. That wiring, it never goes away. Even as adults, our systems are like tuning forks. When one vibrates, the other picks up the frequency. That's why you can walk into a tense room and feel it immediately, even if no one says a word. So when you let yourself be witness without fixing, you're not just imagining safety, your biology is actually borrowing someone else's until your system remembers. Oh, yeah, I know how to do this too. So think about this. In Genesis 1:27, it says, "So God created mankind in his own image." That's your essence. The clear water under all the swirls. Nothing can erase it. But life adds burdens. And it says in Galatians 6:2, "Carry each other's burdens. And in this way, you fulfill the law of Christ." That's exactly why we're here together, because your nervous system wasn't designed to carry it all alone. Babies literally can't regulate themselves. They borrow their caretaker's nervous system. That's wiring, and it never goes away. Jesus echoes in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And that's not weakness, it's design. Rest doesn't come by out thinking or out hustling. It comes through presence, through being carried, through letting someone else's steadiness hold you long enough to remember your own. If you feel uneasy about scripture, it's a great moment to be with that feeling. Say, I see that you feel, and it's okay. This moment is safe right now. It's okay to feel even this. So let's try it together right now, just for a minute. I want you to close your eyes if you are able and if it's available to you, and just notice your breath again. And I want you to ask yourself what protector shows up the most for you. Is it overthinking, disappearing, performing, collapsing? Just notice without judging, without trying to fix it. And just say silently in your mind, I see you. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. Now take one more breath. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. That's the power of witnessing. It's really simple and it's everything. And the next layer is co-regulation. On your own, you can get glimpses of this. But when someone else witnesses you without judgment, without fixing, that shift is 10 times faster. That's why community matters, because alone you'll always default back to your old patterns. But together, you can borrow someone else's nervous system until your own remembers how to feel safe again. And that's the gift of this room, this community. That's the gift of what we're practicing together. All right. So far, we've built safety together. We've named our essence and spotted our protectors. Now it's time to put this into practice. So here's the truth. Practice is where the magic happens. You can read 1,000 books, take notes on every workshop, but until you feel this in your body, nothing changes. So in this part, I want to practice two things: discernment, knowing what's real for you and not what someone else says is real, and receiving, allowing yourself to be supported, which for most of us is actually one of the hardest things. And while we do this, you'll see your protectors jump out like popcorn, and that's good. That's how you learn to spot them. So let me make this super practical. Discernment is simply, is this true for me right now? Is this true for me right now? It's not, is this true for the group? It's not, does this make sense to my partner? It's not, would my family approve of this? Discernment is this true for me right now? Honoring your yes, honoring your no's. Discernment means tuning into your own system and asking, does this feel life-giving or life-draining? Does it bring me more freedom or does it contract me? Think of it like trying on a jacket. If it's too tight, you feel it instantly. If it's the right fit for you, you know it right away. Your spiritual and emotional experience are the same. You don't need anyone else to validate it. The only question is, what's the quality of my experience? So now let's talk about the field. Imagine a lioness out on the Serengeti, and when she's hungry, her energy contracts. She's laser focused on the hunt. Every gazelle's head pops up because they can feel that contraction in the field. But when she's fed, her energy opens. She can walk right through the herd and no one runs. They're all relaxed. It's the same with us. When our energy contracts, people around us feel it. Even kids and animals pick up on it. But when our energy is open, the field becomes safe. That's what we're practicing here, opening the field so presence itself becomes the medicine. Think about the last time someone gave you a compliment and you instantly deflected it. Oh, this old thing, or it's nothing, or my personal favorite, it's the least I could do. Someone offered to help you and you said, no, I've got this. That's how most of us do receiving. We crave it, but then when we get it, we push it away. Does that make sense? Can you relate? Drop relate in the chat or comments. Great. I just want to do a quick poll. Do you find it harder to give or to receive? Just put give or receive, whatever one you feel is harder in the comments or the chat. Most of us find it easier to give than to receive. Why is that? Because we were told it's better to give than to receive. Who hasn't heard that? It's better to give than to receive. But that's only half the truth because giving and receiving aren't opposites. They're actually the same cycle, like breathing in and breathing out. You can't only exhale, you can't only inhale. To stay alive, you need both. And if you want to be good at giving, you've also got to be good at receiving. We wouldn't say it's a lot better to inhale than it is to exhale. We need both. You're not that good at exhaling if you haven't inhaled. And you're not that good at inhaling if you haven't exhaled. Giving and receiving is the same. All right, before we practice, let me give you a picture of what happens when we don't co-regulate. At work, it looks like writing the same email for half an hour because your system won't let you feel safe enough to hit send. Anyone relate? Is that just me? In relationships, it looks like spinning out when your partner says one more thing, because without co-regulation, your body reads distance as danger. With money, it looks like panic when you check your account, hustling harder or avoiding it altogether. And at night, it looks like just lying in bed, completely exhausted, but your body won't let you rest because it's still on high alert, hunting lions that aren't there. And here's the mistake that we make. We think we have to handle it ourselves. We overthink, we isolate, we numb, we distract, we beat ourselves up for not being stronger. But here's the truth. You weren't designed to do it alone. And this next practice is your chance to experience what happens when you don't. All right. Take a deep breath. Just presence yourself right now. Presence isn't bound by clocks or calendars. So the field that we're stepping into, it exists outside of time. That means that if you're watching this recording, you're not alone. Every person who has ever done this practice, past, present, or future, is part of the same field that you and I are in. So let's feel that together. Just imagine linking with everyone who's ever been here in the past, who will ever be here in the future, who is here at the same moment as you right now. Just imagine sitting in a circle. On one side of you is all the people who have already practiced this before you. On the other side, all the people who will practice this after you. And there you are, right in the middle, linked, held, and witnessed. And just notice what comes up. Maybe your mind says, this is silly. Maybe your chest feels tight. And maybe some of you want to hide or run away or distract yourselves. Just name whatever that is. There's my doubter, there's my apologizer, there's my avoider. That is discernment in action. Just notice what is. Don't try to push it or suppress it. Just notice it, name it. It's just you spotting the protectors that pop up. They pop up like popcorn, but you don't have to eat the popcorn. You just notice that it's there. Now take another deep breath and feel your body drop just a little more safely. Notice how your body shifts when you imagine breathing in sync with people across time. That's co-regulation. You didn't think your way into safety, your body just borrowed it. So here's the practice. For the next 3 minutes, just allow yourself to receive presence. You don't need to perform. You don't need to share a story. You don't need to fix anything. You just let yourself be held by the field. And as you do, notice what happens inside you. Maybe there's a contraction. Maybe there's a distraction. You might notice tears, laughter, numbness, openness, sometimes nothing at all. Let it all be there. I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes to do this with you while I'm holding the space for you. We're going to set the intention that whatever is being sent, whatever is being received is for everyone's highest good. Everything else falls away. I'm setting the timer now. That's it, 3 minutes. Thank you. Now we're going to flip it. You're going to imagine yourself holding presents for someone else in the field. You're not fixing, not rescuing, not trying to change anything, just holding the space with your open heart. And just notice how your own system settles when you do that. That's the loop of giving and receiving. They're actually the same thing. So here's the magic. If you can hold presence here with people across time, you'll notice the same shift at home with your partner's frustrations, with your child's tears, your coworker's stress. Presence becomes your superpower. Again, if you noticed yourself getting teary-eyed or yawning, those are ways that your body moves emotion. It's energy in motion. Sometimes you just feel the need to stretch or move. Just honor what it is that you're feeling, expressing through your body, because that is how your body knows what to do. It's how your body releases. So again, I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes to do this with you. This time I'm opening up to receive and setting the intention that anything transmitted here is for everyone's highest good. Everything else falls away. And I'm setting that timer for 3 minutes now. And that's time. Thank you again. Just take one more breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your heart beating. And if your eyes are closed when you're ready, gently open them. And that's it. There's no fixing, no proving, just being, witnessing, receiving, giving across time together. Here's the big takeaway right now. Discernment means asking what's true in my body right now. And that open field means I don't need to fix anything. My presence is enough. And giving or receiving means that every time I allow myself to be seen or to hold another, I'm opening the same doorway to abundance. And that's the muscle we're building. And like any other muscle, the more you practice, the stronger it gets. And here's the exciting part. Once you learn to receive presence here in this container, you'll start receiving more in every part of your life, whether it be money, opportunities, love, support, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you can learn to receive here, you can learn to receive anywhere. We're in the final stretch now, so take a breath with me. You just went through a lot, landing in your body, meeting your essence, noticing your protectors, and practicing what it feels like to receive. So before we go anywhere else, let's just pause. I want you to feel your feet again. Feel the seat under you. Notice your breath. Remember that this is integration. It's that simple. Come back to your body. The sacred pause is feeling your feet flat on the floor, feeling yourself supported with like your seat underneath you, and noticing your breath. It's your system saying, yes, I can hold this moment. Now, here's the truth that nobody tells you. This work isn't about reaching some perfect state where you're always going to be calm and joyful and peaceful and zen. It's about learning to ride the waves. Expansion when you feel alive, open, limitless, and contraction when you feel tight, doubtful, collapsed. Most of us think that contraction means that we've failed, that we haven't arrived yet. I was doing this so well, and then I hit this wall. But contraction is not the enemy, it's part of the rhythm. It's your system saying, hang on, I need to integrate what just happened. Think of it like going to the gym. When you lift weights, your growth doesn't happen while you're lifting. It happens when your muscles contract, when they're in repair mode. It's the same here. The growth isn't only in the expansion, it's in the contraction too. And if you can learn to stay with both without abandoning yourself, you become unshakable. I want to give you a picture to hold on to. Imagine a child crying because they fell down. And now imagine the parent saying, get up, don't cry, it's not that bad. That child doesn't feel safe. Their emotions, their experience just got invalidated. Now imagine the parent kneeling down, scooping them up and saying, I know that hurts. I've got you. That's what safety looks like. In your adult life, you are both the child and the parent. And every time you witness yourself in contraction, without fixing, without abandoning, you are reparenting your own system. You're saying, I've got you. I see you. I know that you feel this way. That's integration. That's what we're practicing. Now, here's what happens when you practice this consistently. At work, instead of spinning for hours, you regulate in 90 seconds or less. You write the email and you move on. In your relationship, instead of spiraling into doubt, you can breathe and share, and the panic feeling, the fight or flight dissolves. Connection deepens instead of frays. And with money, you can sit with fear without running. And that steadiness is what opens you to solutions and opportunities that you couldn't see before. Physically, your sleep deepens, digestion improves, your body starts repairing instead of defending. And spiritually, you actually feel trust, not just as an idea, but as a felt sense inside your body. That's the flip side. That's what happens when you stop doing it alone and let yourself be supported again and again. So I want you to take a moment to reflect. Drop one word in the chat or the comments. What do you want more of this year? Is it peace, connection, confidence, joy? Just take a moment to write it in the comments or the chat. And on the flip side, what do you no longer want to experience? What are you ready to unpack, to move through, to break through? And then share that as one word in the chat. Great. That's what this deeper container is designed to multiply. If nothing changes, you already know what a year from now looks like. The same old overgiving, the same spiral, the same exhaustion. But if you step in a year from now, you'll have a nervous system that knows how to reset. Relationships feel lighter. Your body trusts that it's safe to rest. And that's the fork in the road that you're standing at right now. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt that split second where everything hangs in the balance? The moment that you're standing in a doorway, you have the hand on the knob, you're knowing that once you step through, things won't be the same. Or the pause before you hit send on an email that matters, your whole body waiting in suspense. Or that deep inhale right before you speak your truth in a hard conversation. That moment, that threshold is electric. Your system knows you're about to cross into something new, and it asks, will you stay where it's familiar or will you step forward into the unknown? It's the hero's journey. The question is, will you answer the call? What happens if you don't have to stand at that doorway by yourself? What happens when the field, the community, the practice that we've been building actually holds you as you step through? That's what the deeper journey is about, not just glimpsing the threshold, but walking through it with support again and again until your nervous system knows, I was never meant to do this alone. So before we go further, I want you to feel something in your body because this is what today has been leading up to. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, if you'd like, if it's safe to do so, and just take a deep breath. Now I want you to imagine saying yes to something that feels deeply aligned, something you want. Maybe it's the rest that you've been craving, a conversation where you finally spoke your truth and felt heard, or an opportunity that felt like giving the moment, life-giving, the moment that it appeared like it was meant just for you. It was created just for you. Notice what happens in your body when you say yes to that emphatic yes. Notice, are your shoulders softening? Is your body straighter? Does your chest feel more open? Does your breath flow more naturally? That yes is expansion, and that's your essence. Now I want to flip the script. I want you to imagine saying yes to something you didn't really want. The dinner that you agreed to out of guilt. The project you said yes to, even though you're already inundated with projects, you have no time or even desire to do this. Or the moment you said, I'm fine, when you weren't. I want you to notice your body now. Does your chest tighten? Does your stomach sink? Do you feel heaviness or closed? That's contraction. That's the protector running the show. Here's a takeaway. Your body already knows the difference. Expansion is your essence. Contraction is your protector. It's there for a reason. You're not supposed to say yes to things you're supposed to say no to. And discernment is learning to tell the difference, to lean into the yes and step away from the no, to honor your truth because you are worthy as you are and you don't need to prove it to anyone. So as we step into what is next, I don't want you to overthink it. I want you to check your body. Does it feel like expansion, life-giving, opening, freeing, or does it feel like contraction, draining, heavy, closing? That's your compass. It's there for a reason. Trust it. I want you to learn to trust it. And that's how you'll know whether to step through this doorway with me or stay where you are right now. I used to think I could do this on my own. My mom kicked me out. I was 16 years old. I put myself through school. I worked on the side to make ends meet. I renovated a house by myself. I was a jack of all trades most of my life. I could do it all, and I was proud of that. And then I noticed that my relationships were suffering. I started to have severe digestive issues and then autoimmune issues. And no matter how hard I pushed through, worked harder, persevered, and proved myself worthy, I felt trapped. Who I felt I was on the inside wasn't matching up with the way I showed up in the world. And it cost me deeply meaningful relationships. The most important one was with myself. And it took me a very long time to understand the proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I was one of those overachievers in the fast lane, and I was proud of it until my body gave out. And sadly, it wasn't until my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer at the young age of 56 that I realized that lane wasn't working. I could see myself burning out long before that. And that's when it hit me. Transformation doesn't come from hustle, proving, or overgiving. That only leads to burnout. It comes from practice, from showing up again and again in a community that doesn't let you fall back into your old patterns. The real shift happened for me when I stopped trying to do it all on my own and actually let myself be supported consistently. That's when my nervous system started to rewire. That's when presence became my default, not hustle and proving my worth. And that's exactly why I created this deeper container, because I know what it feels like to taste freedom for a moment and then feel it slip away. And I also know what it feels like to anchor that freedom until it becomes who you are. And that's the journey I want to walk with you. So let's talk about what's next. Is it okay if I give you a what's next? Because here's the truth, you can't rewire a lifetime of protectors in one workshop. What you've experienced today is just a glimpse, a taste, the appetizer. And if this spoke to you, imagine what happens when we do this consistently week after week with others walking the same path. And that's why I created Story Alchemy. Story Alchemy is the feast You get to indulge. And the question is, do you want to stop at the appetizer or sit down for the meal? My 12-month container takes everything that you've tasted here, essence, protectors, co-regulation, receiving, and we go deeper together. You're not alone on this journey. For some of you, it might be the first time ever. But let's be clear, you were never meant to do this alone. Here's what you get. You get weekly activation sessions. This is where you practice being witnessed in real time, just like we did today in circle. You get weekly reflective lessons where I help you manage what is going on, noticing, opening up. You keep your nervous system rewiring between the sessions through reflection. There's improv because integration is better, transformation is better when we allow ourselves to play again and know it's not a waste of time. Play makes you more creative, more available to see opportunities. I host weekly Q&As, so you get any question that you need answered. You need to get support in real time. And there's a community to continue to practice, to integrate, to ask questions. You don't have to wait for the open Q&A. You can ask questions anytime, so you're never alone, not one single moment. You don't have to wait. You can express whatever is moving through when it's actually moving through in real time so that someone can hold it with you. And as a bonus, I'm offering access to my weekly writing group where you can journal, organize your thoughts, reflect on the weekly lesson, or even write your book if that's what you are working on or working towards. And as a bonus to that, if you are thinking about writing a book, you get access to my flow writing workshop. So you learn to trust what wants to flow through you. I give you an exercise to quickly map out what it is that you want to write. So normally the full value of my container is $6,700. Now that's not what I'm charging you, but think about it. It's 12 months of support and real-time integration. Imagine what could transform in your life if you finally had that kind of support for a full year. It's absolutely worth it. I've spent 3 times that to be part of other containers, but I'm not charging even half that. If you take immediate action right now and you pay in full, you get all this for $9.97. Not per month, $9.97 as a one-time payment for the whole year. And yes, I do have a money back guarantee. So if after the first week, before you receive access to week 2, you've checked out everything and you feel it's not right for you, you can ask for a refund. You get your full money back, no hassles. You have nothing to lose right now. And if you need a payment plan, it's just $185 today. $185 today and then $185 for the next 5 months. That's it. There's no gimmick, there's no hidden upsell, just your choice. Do you want more of what you just experienced consistently in a container, in a community that won't let you fall back into your old pattern? Or do you want to keep doing what you've always done and keep getting the results you've always gotten? There's no right or wrong. There's only what your heart leads you to do and trusting that inner knowing. So here's how I want you to decide. Again, don't think it, don't overthink it. Don't let your skeptic protector run the show. Instead, just put a hand on your chest, breathe, ask, does this feel life-giving or life-draining? Does this open me or does this close me? If it feels life-giving, if it opens you, that's your answer. Step in. Because 1 year from now, you'll either still be fighting the same protectors or you'll look back and say, that workshop, it was the day that everything started to change. And that's what I want for you. I want you to wake up without that pit of dread in your stomach. I want you to walk into a room and feel at home in your own skin. I want you to be able to set your phone down at night and actually rest. I want you to experience conversations where you don't have to over explain, where you're simply heard and understood. I want you to feel your body steady when life throws a curveball. Instead of spiraling into panic, that is the freedom. That's the life-giving energy. That's the doorway and the opportunities that open on the other side. So the choice is yours, not from fear, from essence, from inner truth and alignment. Thank you so much for joining me today. Much love.